Hey everyone, Monster TV here today, and I'm going to be showing you guys the 7 pudding Heartless in Kingdom Hearts 3. First off, before we begin, I strongly recommend equipping a Thunder spell in your quick menu setup, and it should make these challenges go a lot smoother. Jumping straight into it, our first pudding is located in Olympus. Spawning at the Outlook, proceed up the stairs, and on the right at the very top, that's where he'll be waiting. The first minigame is one of the more annoying ones in my opinion, mainly because the shield has a tendency to bang into everything and anything in your dang path. Either way, for this minigame, the goal is to run over as many puddings within the time limit without having the shield come to a halt. Respectively, there are red arrows on the ground which help you speed up, although sometimes they can be annoying if you don't land on them just right. The target score is 20,000 for this minigame, which as long as you can make it down to Herc's statue, is rather easy to accomplish. Once you've made the 20,000 points, you should win 3 fruit along with a form change extender. Do note that for most of the minigames, the goal score is going to be around 20,000, and once you've met the requirements, you'll see the pudding jump up and down, letting you know it's time to move on to the next pudding. Moving on to our second pudding, we'll be heading to Toy Story. Once there, spawning in at the rest area, head over to the soda machines where the strawberry pudding will be waiting. For their minigame, the goal is to collect as many puddings as possible within the time limit by stacking them on your head. The best way of doing this is simply avoiding the puddings rolling around on the smaller strawberries because they will chase you around and knock off the puddings. Once completed, you'll receive the attraction extender and we can move forward to the Tangled world. Spawning in at the tower, head through the cave where the orange pudding will be waiting. This pudding loves photos, and to meet the point requirements, you simply need to take 7 excellent photos, but you're going to need to take 7 different excellent photos. For the first pudding, keep your camera on him until he turns to you and poses. For the second pudding that's chasing butterflies, wait for him to reach the top of his flight path and then snap the picture. Going up the hill, the animal-friendly pudding, make sure that the center of his head is inside the camera circle or it will not register when you take the picture. Once done, simply wait until he has all 3 animals on him and he makes his pose. Then moving on to the water pudding, just wait until he pops his head out the water, and boom, you're done. Next, moving to the group up at the top of the hill. Wait until they've posed for the 3rd time, and then take the picture while centering them in the middle. This should leave you with 2 pictures remaining to easily make up the remaining points. Finally, once you've completed the orange pudding's minigame, he'll give you the treasure magnet. Proceeding on to the frozen world, we'll have our 4th pudding. Spawning in at Elsa's tower, veer to the left and head to the edge of the cliff behind the Moogle shop. Catching the jump pad, you'll dive off of the cliff and find the grape pudding below. For this minigame, you simply need to kill as many puddings as you can within the time limit. Like I noted earlier, using thunder towards the end helps stack up points, especially when the large groups of puddings start to spawn. Once you've completed this minigame's score of 20,000, you'll receive the Unison Blizzard. Moving on to the 5th pudding, we'll be heading to Monsters Inc., possibly one of the most hilariously painful minigames in Kingdom Hearts 3. Spawning in the basement, go through the nearby white door and head to the wall of doors. Once there, go through the brown door on the far left side. Immediately after, turn around and head towards the veranda where the infamous banana pudding will be waiting. Just like the previous pudding, the 5th pudding will all be about killing the tiny puddings as fast as possible in an attempt to make the 20,000 score within the time limit. The hard part, however, is trying to dodge the giant pudding in the middle without getting eaten before the time runs out. All I can really say is use your swings wisely, roll often, keep your eyes on the pudding, and pray. For real though, as an added tip, when using your sword ability or casting a focus ability, I don't think he will eat you. But I'm not 100% on this information, so take it at your own discretion. Once you've finally beaten the banana pudding, however, he will reward you with the Grand Magic Extender. Next, moving on to the 6th pudding, we'll make our way to the fortress in Port Royal, Pirates of the Caribbean. Once there, we'll be meeting up with the watermelon pudding. For his minigame, we'll be in a bird's eye perspective, where you simply have to shoot all the incoming pudding by smacking the corresponding cannons. Do note that there is a watermelon balloon pudding that spawns in and flies from left to right in the background. To get the 20,000 points, you'll need to shoot him as much as you can because when you do, he gives a good amount of bonus points. Then, once you've completed this minigame, you'll receive Focus Siphon. Now moving on to the final pudding, we'll make our way to Big Hero 6. Spawning in at nighttime, in the South District, turn around and airstep your way on top of the M building. Once up top, just to the east on the building next door, we'll have our 7th and final pudding. His mini game involves simply bouncing on top of puddings in a rinse and repeat fashion. After a pudding has been jumped on, he will open his mouth and look up into the sky. So you're going to have to move from pudding to pudding until one of them puts their heads back down and it starts to shine. Typically, this will happen on the 3rd or 4th jump. Once the head goes down, to get as much points as possible, immediately jump onto the one with the shiny head. Doing so will shoot you to another building where the process starts over again. Once you've completed this and made all 7 puddings jump for joy, you will be rewarded with Attraction Extended, the Flanmeister badge, and your Orichalcum ore. I really hope this guy was helpful. Let me know in the comments below which pudding y'all thought was the hardest. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.